Okay, so you want to own a car wash. You picture buying a prime corner lot in your hometown, installing some massive spinning blue brushes, and smelling that sweet, artificial cherry soap, while a steady line of muddy SUVs rolls through your tunnel. You imagine sitting in an air-conditioned back office, while hundreds of drivers hand you $20 for a 5-minute spraydown. You lock the doors at 6 in the evening, drive home, and watch the cash pile up in your bank account. It sounds like the ultimate passive income machine. A perfect, stress-free local business. It is not that simple. By the time we are done here, you are going to understand exactly why the modern car wash is actually a brutal, highly leveraged real estate war. How private equity turned water and soap into a financial instrument. And how one tiny miscalculation on your debt load can bankrupt you before you wash a single car. Most people think a car wash is a straightforward service business that trades physical cleaning labor for cash. You clean a car, you get paid. That is not quite right. An express tunnel car wash is actually a specialized real estate development firm monetizing a behavioral subscription model. Think about a massive commercial gym. The corporate owner of a gym does not actually want you to come in, use the treadmills, take up space in the locker room, and wear down the expensive equipment. They want you to sign up for a $30 monthly auto draft on your credit card, and then stay on your couch forever. The car wash industry realized this exact same psychological trick. Decades ago, car washes were just coin-operated bays where you sprayed your own tires. Today, you are not selling a clean windshield or shiny tires. You are selling a recurring monthly charge that the average consumer forgets to cancel. We call this the unlimited wash club model, and it completely changed the math of the industry. Instead of praying for sunny weather so people decide to wash their cars, operators now collect guaranteed money on the first of every month, whether it rains for 3 weeks straight or not. But building the physical trap required to capture all of those recurring subscriptions requires a staggering amount of upfront cash. To understand the real economics, you have to look at the ground up. You do not just buy a pressure washer, pour some concrete, and hire a teenager with a towel. You are building an industrial water treatment facility disguised as a retail storefront. According to the 2023 construction cost analysis published by Auto Laundry News, building a modern express tunnel is an exercise in massive capital expenditure. Let us break down exactly what it costs to open the doors. First, the land acquisition. You need at least 1 to 1.5 acres of land. But it cannot be just any land. It must sit on a high-traffic retail corridor, ideally with 50,000 cars driving by every day, with a speed limit under 45 miles per hour, so drivers can actually see your sign and slow down. You're competing against heavyweights like fast food chains and banks for this exact real estate. That prime dirt will cost you roughly $2.5 million. Second, the zoning and permitting legal fight. City councils often fight new car washes because they create traffic backups and use massive amounts of municipal water. You will spend roughly $150,000 on local lawyers, traffic studies, and civil engineers just to get the legal permission to break ground. Third, the site work and utility infrastructure. You cannot just plug a commercial car wash into the standard city grid. You have to lay high-capacity water lines, install massive underground retention tanks to catch and filter chemical runoff, and upgrade the electrical grid to handle 3-phase power. This hidden groundwork costs an average of $900,000. Fourth, the physical building and the tunnel equipment. You need a 120-foot concrete tunnel, the automated point-of-sale kiosks, the heavy steel conveyors, the friction brushes, and the high-velocity drying vacuums. This specialized hardware and the building to house it will cost you exactly $3.2 million. Fifth, your commercial property taxes and commercial liability insurance. Because you are operating heavy machinery around expensive, moving consumer vehicles, your insurance premiums are massive. These recurring baseline costs will drain another $50,000 before you even open your doors. Sixth, your pre-opening runway capital. You need to pay staff to train, run marketing campaigns, and keep the lights on for 3 months before you have enough members to turn a profit. That requires a cash reserve of $200,000. Add it all up, and before you have sold a single car wash, you are fully $7 million in the hole. This is the barrier to entry. Because the upfront cost is so immensely high, you almost certainly did not pay cash. You borrowed it from a commercial bank or private investors. And that means you now have a ticking clock in the form of a commercial mortgage. This debt is where the industry splits into two entirely different realities. Let us look at a contrast pair to see how the exact same business model creates complete opposite outcomes based purely on the timing of when they took on their debt. Look at Mr. Car Wash, the largest publicly traded chain in North America, heavily backed by the private equity firm Leonard Green & Partners. Between 2019 and 2021, they executed a massive land grab. During this time, the national government kept interest rates sitting at historic lows, near 0%. Mr. Car Wash locked in cheap, fixed-rate debt to build and acquire hundreds of locations. By their 2022 financial filings, they reported over 1.9 million unlimited Wash Club members. Because their debt was incredibly cheap and legally locked in for the long term, their fixed costs were comfortably low. In the 2022 fiscal year, they pulled in $876 million in revenue. And because the cost of washing one extra car is literally just 15 cents in water and soap, their profit margins expanded beautifully. They thrived because they locked in the cost of their real estate when borrowed money was practically free. Now, contrast that exactly with Zip's Car Wash, another massive operator backed by the private equity firm Atlantic Street Capital, trying to run the exact same playbook. Zips aggressively expanded later in the economic cycle, buying up locations heavily throughout 2022 and 2023. But to fund this rapid growth, they took on floating rate debt. Floating rate debt is a loan where your monthly interest payment goes up or down depending on the broader economy, rather than staying locked at one predictable number. When the central bank aggressively hiked interest rates over that time frame to combat national inflation, the cost of Zip's debt exploded overnight. Their monthly debt payments skyrocketed, completely wiping out the cash flow they were collecting from their Wash Club members. By May of 2024, Zips was forced into a massive debt restructuring, handing over equity and control to their lenders simply to avoid defaulting on $700 million in bad loans. This is a perfect contrast. You have the exact same business model. You have the exact same product. You have the exact same consumer demand for clean cars. But one company locked in their capital costs early, and the other borrowed at the exact peak of the market with a variable rate. The fundamental truth of the industry is this: the winner is not the operator with the best-smelling soap or the brightest neon signs. The winner is the operator with the most efficient balance sheet. Let us walk through the actual math of a single express tunnel, step by step, the way you would map it out on a napkin, to see exactly how thin the line between printing money and total bankruptcy really is. Here's the optimistic scenario, which we will call the good year. Your $7 million car wash is open, and you successfully recruit 3,000 local drivers into your unlimited wash club. They each pay you exactly $30 a month. Starting figure, your recurring subscription revenue is $90,000 every single month. Now, we subtract your operating costs. First, your labor. You need 3 employees per shift to guide cars onto the track, troubleshoot the payment kiosks, and empty the massive trash cans, which costs you exactly $15,000 a month. Next, your chemicals and utilities. The local water bill, electricity to run the vacuums, and the barrels of soap scale with your usage, running you roughly $8,000 a month. Then, your maintenance and repairs. Fixing broken hydraulic hoses and replacing worn-out spinning brushes costs you another $5,000 a month. Subtract those operating costs from your $90,000, and you have $62,000 left over. This dynamic is what financial analysts call high operating leverage. It means your variable costs, the cost to wash one extra car, are basically zero, but your fixed costs are a mountain. Because you've borrowed $6 million to build the site, you must now subtract your fixed debt service of $40,000. Ending figure, you drop $22,000 in pure liquid profit into your personal bank account that month. Over a 12-month year, that is $264,000 in cash flow. The model works perfectly. Now, let us flip a single variable. A massive corporate competitor buys the lot just 2 miles down the road, builds a shinier tunnel, and offers a first month free promotion. Here is the realistic scenario, which we will call the bad year. Your subscription base drops by just 25%. You lose 750 members to the new competitor. You now have 2,250 members paying that same $30. Your monthly revenue falls sharply to $67,500. Now, watch what happens to the math. Your operating costs barely budge. Your labor is still $15,000 because you still need 3 people to run the site safely. Your chemicals and utilities drop only slightly to $7,000. Your maintenance is still $5,000. You subtract those, leaving you with $40,500 in operating profit. But your mortgage absolutely does not care about your new competitor. Your debt service is still exactly $40,000 a month. Ending figure, you are now left with just $500. One major brush breaks, or one employee works overtime, and you are losing thousands of dollars a month. You have to write a check from your own savings just to keep the tunnel lights on. That 25% drop in customers completely wiped out 98% of your profit and pushed you to the brink of failure. This is the hidden fragility of the modern car wash boom, and it explains why so many local operators eventually sell out to massive private equity firms. High fixed costs, paired with high financial leverage, create a razor-thin margin for error. The deeper principle here is that any business requiring massive upfront capital to build a recurring subscription trap is essentially a race against your own debt. If you are evaluating buying into a franchise, a real estate development, or any capital-heavy business, you must stress test your debt before you ever sign a contract. Do not model your business based on how much money you will make at full capacity on a sunny day. Model it based on the exact number of customers you need just to cover the mortgage, and figure out exactly how many months your personal cash reserves can survive if you fall short of that number. Never sign a variable rate loan on a fixed return asset. So, you still want to own a car wash. You still want to stand on that prime corner lot, breathe in that artificial cherry soap, and watch those shiny, muddy SUVs roll out into the sun while the neon signs flash overhead. Just remember what is really happening beneath the concrete and the spinning brushes. You were never buying a simple, passive service business. You were buying a highly leveraged real estate bond, just hoping that enough drivers show up to pay the interest.